you really need to go back to school.
It's broken and fucking gifted.
Yeah, I don't even know what type of energy to carry after that intro, but let's just get into it, bro. We're talking about femcels. The topic of today's video is femcels. We got a lot of targets today. I'm ready to get my hands bloody. Let's get it. So I've seen a lot of videos on femcels lately. I've been doing my research, and what do you know? Every video is exactly the same, like everything else on every platform nowadays. You know the method, copy and paste, and just put your own little editing or twist onto it, or just your voice, but basically just copy everything and make money off of people. Not to goat my own throat, but I'm an anomaly. I don't do that here. Every single one of these videos is absolutely trashing on the femcels. They hate the femcels with a burning passion. I'm hearing a lot of wild claims being thrown. A lot of these videos, when you just look up femcel, like the popular ones, are made like a year ago. I'm a little late to the party, but better late than never. Broken Gifted usually pulls up to the party late, but let's be real here. Did the party really start until I got there? I'm gonna be playing the underdog here, fighting my way to the top against the big guys, because they don't do anything except for give lukewarm takes and make boring videos. I don't really have too much to talk about. I think this is gonna be a pretty short video, but you know what they say, the master never reveals more than necessary. A true alpha never gives the oppositions an opening. But yeah, like every single video I've seen is just trashing on femcels. They hate their guts. They hate everything about them, everything they stand for. And I think people aren't really seeing the truth. And these opinions say a lot about those people. Low-key so-called opinions, because I don't even know if... Well, we'll get into that later. First target, I'm gonna be going for some low-hanging fruit. I'm feeling pretty bloodthirsty right now, ready to clap some cheeks. Anyone's a target. This now starts my one-sided beef with Tommy Mommy. Please notice my small channel and shout me out. You know, this was like a year ago, so maybe he's a changed man. I don't know. Nope, definitely not. He's still got the Family Guy edits and funny memes. And he's making fun of my favorite sport / hobby, so I'm really pissed now. All right, let me take a clip out of context real quick.
Something like that anyways. They'll probably just take a screenshot of the thumbnail without even watching it, post it on Twitter with a caption saying I'm not watching this, and proceed to say I'm a terrible woman-hating man without even knowing me or my content. Even though
This guy's totally not 10 steps ahead and already knew my master plan a year in advance, but anyways.
And you can't use that phrase. But I guarantee if dudes tried to start a hashtag KAW or all women trend on there, it would have been packed in a day, and every account associated with it would be banned and doxxed. Their excuse for this trend at the time was that they were trying to make the message sound drastic, and they obviously didn't mean all men. And if you were a man that found a problem with it, then you were probably one of the type of men they were talking about. This excuse to me is absolutely stupid as because what average man is gonna want to have a reasonable debate about, I don't know, gender norms or something, with you when in the statement of your movement it literally says to put an end to them? And to me, this movement was hypocritical because you know damn well if men started a KAW trend and try to be like it's not all women, obviously, only the bad, manipulative, criminal ones, they would get thrown at them, rightfully so. Or imagine we use this for something like race, even a worse example.
Hashtag all black people rob, man. Let's get the movement.
Now, Mr. Tommy Senpai, you say that they're hypocritical, bro. But to be honest, I think what you're doing is a much greater sin, if not exactly the same thing that goes on with femcels. These people just, you know, complain about men and they just say words, bro. And clearly, bro, your video almost got 1 million views. This sort of, you said that their posts get banned or whatever. It's not allowed anymore. I think the majority of people would agree that killing all men is probably not a great idea, but that's just opinion. I'm not judging. But Evil Tommy preys on little innocent 12-year-old brainless children by making agreeable take videos and putting little funny gifs and memes to keep their attention, and just posting things that they already are saying in their mind, so it has no effect on the world. It's just for your own monetary gain, so that you can get richer and richer and the 12-year-olds can get dumber and dumber. How about you take some advice from your biggest fan, Tommy, and realize that if you didn't give takes that the majority of the population has and put Family Guy funny moments over it, nobody would watch your content because your personality alone isn't enough.
Holy shit.
Fuck, the geek bar died. Alright, before I get into the rest of the video, I haven't even explained what a femcel is. And the reason for that is it's kind of complicated. If I'm being honest, the real reason is because this video doesn't have any structure. But to get a broader understanding of the femcel, I broke femcels into 4 different types, because you guys are morons and you need like this Venn diagram to understand. I'm just kidding, I love you, I'm sorry. Category 1 of the femcel, we got the E attention whores. If you're thinking femcel, you're probably thinking this archetype that I made up. Hold up, what's the like Urban Dictionary definition or whatever? Bro, fuck explaining that. You guys know what we're talking about, or I'm gonna put it on the screen or whatever. This is like the main core type. If you're talking about femcels, this is probably what you're talking about. I think this is why femcels are so hated as well. Thing that I hear the most from these yawn tubers is that these femcels are using the chuds, baiting them by pretending to be a femcel or not being able to get any dick, and then they just empty their wallets, either from like a OnlyFans, or I think these dudes just send them money because they want to hit. And from the chud's perspective, this seems like an easy win. It's like if you're a silver player, then you should play in silver lobbies, but really these whores just want attention, bro. So basically, they're hated because they are faking, they're lying to bait chuds for attention and whatnot. They claim that they can't get into a relationship or whatever. Meanwhile, they have dudes flooding their DMs. All right, right here is where I have to go over my next target. Mr. IBZ is a pretty good example of this. So let me just play the clip real quick.
Flooding their DMs, whether it's on Instagram or Twitter or whatever they're on. Like, you have a chick who most likely has a bunch of dudes flooding their DMs online, and she's just like, oh my god, I have such a messy room. Oh my god, I'm gonna die an unlovable incel. You know, I used to watch Leafy is Here and I drink Monster Energy. I'm such a femcel. Like, what? Like, they'll have like hundreds of dudes subscribed to their OnlyFans, yet they'll still be trying to claim femcelhood or something. Like, there's that one chick, Skirby, I think is her name. I put her in the thumbnail of that femcel gooner video because she got caught incel pandering in one of her posts where she was like, yep, nope. A little bit more to the left. Yeah, no, put the empty McDonald's bags right here on the bed, right there. Perfect. All right, guys.
But yeah, anyways, it's like fucking duh, bro. It's working, obviously. You just said that, you know, they're getting paid and whatnot, and you just showed how low effort it is to play this role, and apparently it still works. And I think he's getting mad at these femcels for being disingenuous, and it's like, duh, they're just marketing, you know. It doesn't matter if they actually care about any of this stuff at all. They're just marketing to chuds, and it's proving effective. So instead of being a little wanker and being like, what are they doing? Like, what the hell? Just think for a minute. Why would they act like this? You only have to think for a split second, and then the answer becomes obvious. All right, next on the categories, second category of femcel, we got the kill all men haters. These ones are pretty prominent. It just depends on, you know, what tier they are. It's so prominent that I could even hear, you know, like coworkers or whatever when I used to have a job. They usually make huge generalizations about all men. Obviously, that's why they're hated or whatever. I've encountered this sort of thing in the wild multiple times, and that'll further prove my point later. Usually when I hear a kill all men sort of thing in public, a men hater, it's usually like their ex or like two exes did a certain thing, and then they say like, why do men do this sort of thing? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't do that. I don't know anyone who does that. And they're like, no, this happened. That's fucking weird. And it's like, obviously there's more than like 7 people on this planet, so they can't all behave the same way. All right, let's move on to the third category of femcels. And this is the true, real femcels, the ones that don't get any play. Now, most of the videos that talk about femcels point out that men will fuck anything, moving or not. Well, you're not technically celibate, so you're not a femcel. And it's like, fair enough, bro, but I think the same exact thing applies for incels. There's so many women out there, you're genuinely not unsexable unless you physically can. The amount of objects that women... I'm not gonna finish that. So I think femcels exist to a certain extent, or that femcels and incels both can't exist, because factually you can get play. It's just there's something mentally blocking you, which I would argue is the case for both sides. Anyways, let's move on to the last category. And this one applies to all of the other ones in most cases, and that's just mentally unstable, mentally ill women. You would think that you have to be mentally ill to consider yourself a femcel, but I disagree. And that's because being a femcel comes with some large benefits. But before I get into that, let's take a step back. In life, you can play different roles to get an advantage, especially if you play your role well. And in gender specifically, this is definitely applicable. If you spawn as a man, you have higher risk, but also higher reward. And this comes in every single different area of a man's life. Men statistically die sooner. They're sent to war, they're sent to battle and whatnot. Men are simultaneously the brokest and the richest gender. And we all know about the hypergamy argument, where all the foids will only date chads and there's not even crumbs left for a chud. Now, similarly, on the flip side, women got different advantages and fuck. And I'm not gonna talk about them because I don't talk to women, so I don't know. But I definitely think it can be a more secure option than being a man just because of the risks. But I do know they play heavy on, you know, being perceived by other people, because chuds are just gonna like badder bitches. That's just the way it is. So image to them is gonna be, you know, a #1 play that's super powerful. So right about now, you're probably thinking, Broken Gifted, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And to be honest, I don't know. But what I do know is all these trash tubers just saying the same dumbass complaining about the foids. They're not even addressing how powerful this role is that they're playing. And here comes my master opinion. If I was a foid, I would definitely be a femcel, or at least pretend to be, because of the amount of power that you get. Not only that, but this sort of ideology, this archetype, is completely shoved down everyone's throats. So if you're not even playing the game and you're just kind of mindlessly, you know, roaming, you'll probably just fall into this category at least a little bit anyways. And that's what I see in real life a lot. I've also seen a video talking about, it was fucking Tommy, talking about the celebrities that are, you know, kind of in this archetype.
Shout out to bro, that's my favorite YouTuber.
Just a man-hating rhetoric, I guess we could call it, comes from one main source I notice a lot of times. Female celebrities. When anybody's favorite celebrity says something outlandish, they're usually more hesitant to condemn it and more likely to agree. And no, I'm not talking about music and lyrics, like Megan Thee Stallion saying something like all these is cheaters or something. Because at that point, we could pick on every male artist that says something about women, you know. I could care less about lyrics. I'm talking about more of the statements they make. I'm sure y'all know about the whole Biba Doobie crash out thing by now. Everybody talked about this, might be top 5 stupidest things.
So not only is this just the easiest play to make, you're basically past it. It's shoved down your esophagus, and now all these dudes are like, why the hell is this happening? These bitches are crazy. You're the ones that are fucking crazy, bro. Are you saying, bro, if I was a girl, I would definitely be a femcel? The fuck? Now, I'm not saying that it's morally right, but there's tons of bad things that happen every day, bad things that you do that nobody cares about. I don't know if these YouTubers care that much about femcels. I don't really care too much about femcels, to be honest, but clearly there's, you know, an audience for this, so people do care, and all of this caring just stems from insecurity. It's the dumbest play to make ever. You only care because you're affected by it. To be honest, you're probably not even affected by it. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, and I always hear like, oh, if it was a man, this would be ridiculous. Double standard, but double standards don't apply because you're not even playing the same role, because men and women are different. And even if you think they're the same, that's fine. People individually are different anyways. You're only watching this video if you think that this information sort of pertains to you or is related to you in any sort of way. Otherwise, you wouldn't care at all, bro. There's no reason to care unless you sort of just like my voice and like listening to it. If so, I got an ASMR video dropping soon. Shout out Xi Jinping. Also, when you're making videos on this topic and shedding light on it, you're only making it more popular, which is just growing your enemy. I think anyone who's got a problem with femcels doesn't actually care about the greater good. They're just insecure. But if you are caring about the greater good, you normie, good luck trying to control millions of people. Also, life just kind of has its ups and downs. Like not too long ago, in the grand scheme of things, women would just, be at home. You smack them around when you get home after they don't make a sandwich or whatever. And it's been that way for a long time. So I think we should just give women the W for a little bit. I want to pass them the play and just kind of see what they do with it, to be honest. There's so much fear mongering on the internet about the dating pool and, oh no, the birth rates are going down. I've never understood this, how that's not going to encourage people to make some babies. Spreading this information all over the internet is literally doing the opposite of what you want to happen, because you see this all over and you're like, oh, I guess it's true, it's super popular, it's over. But natural selection has existed since forever. Things just are the way that they are. You kind of just spawned on a floating rock in space, and we weren't even given a tutorial or a guide or anything. We've also kind of made a mess of the place and destroyed it and shit. Even if all of humanity ends because nobody has any more children, what does it even matter to you? You're not even going to be alive to see it. The only reason that you want to see humanity triumph or whatever is because you just believe that. We're just one tiny little speck in the universe, bro. Don't let femcels get to your head. Don't let the fear mongering get to your head. You might as well just enjoy it. The fact is that this life shit just exists. I choose to perceive it as a gift, and that makes it fun as fuck. I'm not gonna waste my time worrying about bullshit that doesn't even matter. And I think that mentality would completely subside any sort of problem that you have with femcels or the birth rate or women or men or whatever. Before you go into your 7-hour slop consumption session, just make sure to not adapt the beliefs unless they're actually relevant to you in your real life. I think that's all of the rambling I have for today. There's some more, but I don't really want to fucking talk anymore, so I'm gonna see y'all later.